それが何だってんだ。未練に足を引っ張られて恩人を見殺しにした俺を明日の俺は笑うだろうぜ。
Oh, that's the same thing that she said. That's the same thing she said last episode. Oh. Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, episode 12, Everything But the Rain, June 4th. And last episode, we started the backstory of, Ichigo's father. It was telling him about his mom and everything, how they met and all of that. So that's where we were. And yeah. So before we get into this episode, if you guys want my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/feelmini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. Girl. I was replaying this a few scenes from the episodes, and I'm like, they called out Uryu's mom. They're like Kanae Katagiri, and I saw her face, and I just noticed that when they said the frail, that's the only thing that I noticed about it. It's just now occurring to me that it's Katagiri. I mentioned that last episode when they first showed her. When she first showed up in the scene. And you see how she's looking at what's his name, Ryu, and everything. I'm like, okay, is she gonna be the one to be Uryu's mom? Because clearly, Masaki is gonna be Ichigo's mom. So I'm like, is she gonna be? And it clearly is. Mimi, we are so slow sometimes. Like I was saying, I love these backstories, especially I guess is seeing the story. Basically, the love story between Ishin and Masaki. Oh, excuse me. She jumped in to save him, and now got bit by this hollow, who transferred his hollow powers, I guess, to her. And now she's being transformed into a hollow. And yes, Ishin was pardoned, I guess, for breaking the rules of the Soul Reapers and everything. Oh, get inside. And he straight out asked him if he was hiding something else. And he's like, nope. But, now that he learned that she was in danger of soul suicide, I guess. And even though it only had downsides for him, he immediately accepted. Basically giving his life, the life that he was living for her, he abandoned being a soul reaper, being able to see hollows and all of that, to become just like a regular human being and live alongside her for forever, because he had to be beside her so that the link that Kisuke created with his soul powers and the hollow inside of her and her Quincy powers or whatever, that has to be maintained at all times. And then he said that the powers will be the hollowification thing will continue to her descendants, meaning Ichigo. So he needs to be with her always, basically. And he accepted. Ryu was worried that he wasn't going to accept that, because of all the downsides that he had for him. But I love when he immediately accepted, and then he basically said the same thing that Masaki said when she was gonna go and save Ishin, and Ryu was trying to stop her. They basically said the same thing. So I'm like, oh. And I felt bad for Ryu, because you can tell that he actually cares about her, Like when the mom asked her straight out if she went and got into a battle with Hollows and stuff like that, the Soul Reapers and everything. And she was trying to sort of downplay it and say that's not exactly what happened. Ryu immediately got understood who told, and he went and confronted Katagiri. And Katagiri basically said, yeah, I'm the one that said it because something has changed. She's been hurt. And you have always been about protecting the Quincy's and, all that. So it's like they need the help of the mom and the dad. The dad has never been around. What did I say like that? From these last two episodes, they've always been wondering, like, where is the dad? But no, we're trying to contact him, so we've never seen the dad. And Ryu was, I don't know what Ryu was expecting the mom or whatever to do, but he just jumped in there and just like took her away. Where was he going with her? I don't think he knew where he was going, or does he know and they didn't just tell us? I don't know. He was going somewhere with her, and that's where a hollow arrived and attacked, and Ishin came to their rescue, and that's where he learned what happened. And then Kisuke showed up. Before, I love Kisuke so much. Like when Masaki was walking with her comrades and everything, her friends, and they were talking about the relationship between her and Ryu and all of that. And then she felt the hollow thing in her. She bumped into Kisuke, and Kisuke also felt it, And then while Ryu and Ishin were talking about what happened to Masaki, and then Kisuke just showed up right there. I'm like, they don't always show him like fully. They show like a part of him, and then you hear his voice, and then I'm like, Kisuke. I don't know. I love his entrances, like so much. I feel like he's the guy that has the solutions to every problem. Not like every problem, but he always comes up with something that can help in a particular situation, So when people are like, what are we supposed to do? And then he just shut up, and then you hear his voice. I don't know. I just love him. I love him so much. So he's the one that came up with the solution, I guess, to Masaki's problem, because he's also been researching the holification thing. This is after the confrontation he basically had with what's his name? Maybe Aizen. After what he did to those Soul Reapers, that became visored and all of that. It was after that he came to the real world. That he came to the real world, and he was doing his own research and all that to try to counteract what was happening and everything. So that's why he came up with the solution for Masaki. Now that Masaki is basically being turned into hollow, and she has Quincy and basically hollow powers. He's like the opposite of a Quincy is a Soul Reaper, and the opposite of a hollow is a human, human soul. So he basically wanted Ishin to be that for her, to counteract the Quincy with the Soul Reaper powers and counteract the hollow with the human side of him. That's why he brought out the Giga and all those things. So yeah, so that helped. And then after Ishin told Ichigo all that happened, and then Ryu was going home, like he was sad because he knew that there was not gonna be anything else that was gonna happen between him and Masaki, and that Masaki's relationship basically with the Quincy's were gonna be done because she's basically tainted, so they were not gonna accept her anymore and all of that. And he was sad, and he was going home, and then Katagiri was there, and at first whatever, he didn't want to have anything to do with Katagiri, but then Katagiri's like, she cares about him and all of that, and he knew that she cares about him, so he's like, okay, let's go. And she became Ishida's mom. So yeah, Uryu's mom. Ishida is like the last name, right? Either way, so after Ishin told Ichigo the story, Ichigo was like, thank you, Dad, because he had this reserve basically in his eyes, and he's like, thank you, Dad. And then the dad was like, there's also something that I need to tell you about the day your mom died. It didn't really go the way you thought. She didn't really have to die. And then that's when they went into the story, and then they're like, yeah, there was that green fisher that attacked and everything, but the fact that she was like, what's it called again? That she was like a pure-blooded Quincy and everything. Her powers were enormous. Basically, she could have killed Grand Fisher. She didn't need to die. But then Yuhabaha stole her powers basically, and that left her defenseless, and that's why she died. And the same thing happened to Ishida's mom. Yuhabaha took her powers away, and she died as well. And Ichigo's like, so why is he doing this? Is it because he's the Quincy King? And that's when the father's like, he's the father of all Quincy's, that his blood runs in every Quincy's blood and all of that. And he's basically, if he deems you worthy of having Quincy powers, then you're gonna get the powers. You're gonna get the powers and keep the powers. But if he doesn't, then he's gonna take it away. So this brought this renewed something in Ichigo, and he was like, okay, I'm going or something. Or did he say that before that? I don't know. He left the clinic and whatnot, and then that woman was waiting there with the thing that he uses to become the Soul Reaper, I guess. And then he's like, I'm going. Now I'm asking myself, where are you going? Back? Probably back to the Soul Society, to continue his training. And why not? Is that gonna be possible? It probably is. I feel like I'm missing something. I love the sort of like the montage of Ishin and Masaki's love story, especially that movie theater thing where he was like, he heard this line from the movie about the woman being the son to the man or whatnot, and that's basically what Masaki was to him, and he loved it and all of that. I just love this episode. I loved it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/Kilomini, and you can also see the full line for this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.